Good morning, world. Live from Era. Hope you guys enjoyed my video of my two videos I made yesterday. Yeah. That was a sick video. Sub-housing versus housing. Yeah, I know. That was a sick video. Yeah. Ivan, thank you, man. You gave us advice. Yeah, I gave you advice. What path is better? I think self-publishing is a better path to take. But for self-publishing, you got to save up a bit of money. You got to save up maybe $3,000, $5,000. It depends what you want to do with your book, right? If you want to get your book developmentally edited, that will cost you a lot of money. Proofreading is cheap. Proofreading will only cost you maybe $1,000, $1,500, $2,000. Whereas developmental editing, when someone polishes up your manuscript, that can cost you $4,000, $5,000. But I recommend all you aspiring authors, I recommend you what? Edit the book yourself. Don't have a developmental editor work on your book. Obviously. Yeah. Like there is pros to having a developmental editor work on your book. I'm just saying, if a developmental editor works on your book, the book is not really yours. It's not 100% your DNA. But most authors do hire a developmental editor to fix up their manuscript, which is nothing wrong with that. You can do that. I'm just saying it's very expensive, and the book DNA is not 100% yours because the developmental editor polish up your manuscript, obviously. Like for me, I'm not hiring a developmental editor. I can't afford a developmental editor. A developmental editor would cost me for my book, maybe $5,000, $6,000. Developmental editing is very pricey because they're fixing up your story. Whereas proofreading is cheaper. It's just basic grammar, punctuation, spelling, and instructions. That's cheap. I'm just getting my book proofread. I'm not having a developmental editor touch my story. I don't want anyone to touch my story. So I would recommend the aspiring authors don't hire a developmental editor. It just depends on the situation with your novel. If you wrote a pretty good novel, I recommend you don't have a developmental editor work on your book. If your novel is not that good and needs work, then it doesn't hurt to have a developmental editor help you out with your book, obviously. It's just context, obviously, right? When I say don't hire a developmental editor, there's context. If your book is pretty good, I recommend you don't have a developmental editor work on your book. If it's not that great, then it doesn't hurt to have a developmental editor polish on your manuscript. But I'm just saying, if the developmental editor works on your book, it's not 100% yours, right? Your DNA, right? But most authors do hire developmental editors, but they're expensive. That's why the con about self-publishing, it costs money. It's expensive. Especially if you want to hire a developmental editor, that can cost you $4,000. So you got to save at least, if you don't have a developmental editor, you only need to save maybe $3,000, $2,800, $2,500. Or if you need a developmental editor, you might have to save $4,500 maybe of your money. It's expensive. But it's worth it though. It's worth it. Once you get that over with, you maintain the rights of your novel. Yeah, the novel's yours. With traditional publishing, you don't have to pay for anything. The agents and the team, the publishing houses, they handle all the work for you, but you get the peanuts. That's how it works, right? You get the peanuts and they take all the money. Unfortunately, right? Yeah. Yeah. I think traditional publishing is better. I don't have to pay for anything. Yeah, traditional publishing, you don't have to pay for anything. But I'm just saying, you lose the control of your novel, and they give you peanuts. Publishing houses give you peanuts because they're greedy pigs. Whereas self-publishing, the book is yours, and the majority of the money goes to you. But you have to put in the work, and you have to save a little bit of money to get your book proofread, design your cover. The editing part is what's expensive. Design your cover is cheap. It doesn't cost much. It's the editing that's expensive, obviously. So you gotta save a few $1,000s, which is doable, right? Yeah. Yeah, anyways, I'm sidetracking. And now about self-publishing and digital publishing, right? Yeah. Yeah. Ivan, will Skys's will be buried in Hollywood? Yes. Skys's will be buried in Hollywood. Yeah. Skys's will be buried in Hollywood, man. Like Incredibles, my company. Yeah, man. Like Incredibles, my company. Me and VJ have a $900 million house. Yeah. And the Xanus has get the party up there. Yeah. That's why John Boyega will tell Oscar Isaac, Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley, yeah, Ivan's company's like Incredibles, man. It's something unheard of. It pulls hot water. Oh, really, man? You're lucky, John. Yeah. They're all envious of John Boyega. It's actually funny. Yeah. And who knows that, man? I'm like, no, John, you get nice. Stop being greedy. Yeah. Yeah. Will the 5 years of Zays fly by? Yes, it will. Like, trust me, I start working on the movie before you know it, 5 years go by and the journey's over with. Yeah. Zays is a 5 years, man. Half a decade long. Yeah. And beware of the greedy Hollywood actors' agents, Ivan. If John Boyega's agent wants 20 million, I'm not paying John Boyega 20 million. He's not worth that. Levon Georgia, I'm not paying him more than 5.5. You gotta be careful for the greedy Hollywood actors, agents, and managers, Ivan. The greedy, greedy pigs. The greedy animals. The Hollywood actors, agents. Yeah. Why are they greedy, Ivan? Because they know me and VJ, our movie merchant game will do billions in the box in net profits. That's why they want a bigger chunk of the pie, obviously. They know it's doing more money than even the Hollywood companies. They know I can pay them more, easily pay them more. That's why they want a bigger chunk of the pie. I'm gonna be strict and say no. I'm gonna overpay these guys how to do me. I've already paid them enough. You don't want to overpay the actors, Ivan, by they're duping you, man. You're paying them way. I'm already paying them. I'm already overpaid them. You don't want to overpay them. We'll buy the revenue. If John Boyega wants 20 million in film profits, he's not worth that. I'm not paying that. You're getting greedy, John. I'm not going to pay that. I told someone else that, man. I'm like, no, John, stop being greedy. You get 8.5 to 10. You're not getting 20. You're getting greedy, John. I know, you smell one in the water. You're getting greedy. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, Sarah. It just he means you want to John and Egg in the movie. We're close. We're cousins. Yeah. Yeah. Sick movie. Your book is sick, man. I know your book is sick. Sick book. I'm saying. You'll see how good it is, guys, when you read it. It's a masterpiece, man. Yeah. Hope you guys were impressed what I showed you on my book. Yeah, the whole book is like that. That's why it's a masterpiece. Entertainment right of a lifetime. Yeah. You're constantly on the edge of your seat entertaining with my book. You get your take out, you read the book, you're like, this shit happens. You can't put the book down, right? Yeah. That's why I told you, some of the book nerds might binge my whole book in one day. They binge my 800-page book in like 8 hours, 9 hours. They binge it. The book arrives at like 12 o'clock. You binge it until like 10 at night, 9 at night, man. You're done the book. Yeah. Or some people might finish it in three days. Yeah. Volume 1 they read one day, Volume 2 the second day, Volume 3 the third day. But the book nerds, chances are a lot of them are gonna binge the whole thing in one day, because my book, you can't put it down when you read it. It's constant entertainment. The only way you'll put it down is if you're a bit tired. You put it down because of fatigue. But in terms of the entertainment, my book is a page turner. You just keep turning the page. You keep reading it. You're just hooked reading it. It's a masterpiece, man. Yeah. Have you ever binged your book, Ivan? The most I've binged in my book was a chapter and a half, maybe. Like one time, I remember I binged the whole Lithia chapter. I read the whole thing and I was hooked. And I read a bit of the other chapter after that, and I got tired after that. Because I'm not a book avid reader, right? I'm not a book nerd. Yeah. Even if I read interesting books, I'm the kind of guy I can't binge. Yeah. No, when I was in the hospital, I binged The Proposal. I binged like 100 pages a day. I think I read the whole book in 2 days. I binged, I think, 150 pages, something like that, of The Proposal in the hospital. 100 pages. I also read The Last Battle, Narnia, The Last Battle. I binged that book, I think, in 2 days. Yeah, Last Battle's a good book. It's my second favorite book in Narnia, Last Battle. Last Battle was a sick book. My favorite is Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And the second for me is Last Battle. And third, Prince Caspian. And Silver Chair. Silver Chair was also good too. The Long Lost Cousin. Yeah, that was sick too. Silver Chair. Yeah. Yeah. The more I work identities. When it goes to get my coffee, guys. Yeah. Yeah, but Ivan, some of those authors have different advice for writing compelling chapters. I know, but like, who would you rather take advice from? The guy who wrote the best fantasy novel ever written, or the other guys who wrote good books, but their books are not on the same level as my book? Which advice would you take, honestly? Everyone obviously has different opinions, but I'm just saying, my stepmother told me my book's #1, and I gave you my advice. So would you rather listen to me or would you rather listen to the other guys on these booktubers on YouTube who wrote amazing books, but their books are not as good as my book? They do have good advice too, obviously, but like every author obviously has some differences in opinions, obviously. I believe for every chapter, if you want to keep the reader entertained, put in a conflict or a climax in there, a big climax, and we'll try to leave every chapter with a cliffhanger to keep the reader guessing, to keep the reader engaged. That's what I do for all my chapters. That's why my book is entertaining. That's my advice. You can throw in foreshadowing hints too, to keep the reader guessing what if this happens and later on in the book, right? And that keeps the story, the chapters entertaining. I know I'm talking about when I wrote my book. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, give me a second, guys. I'm gonna go upstairs and get a coffee. Back in a sec. Don't hang those ass. Give me your only upload. Alrighty, guys, I'm back. Yeah. So Eris and Devils and Demons, yes. Eris and Devils and Demons. Looking at most reviews of history. Looking at Devils and Demons for the movie. Sorry. Looking at Devils and Demons. Yeah. Devils and Demons. As well as things I was lucky. Gonna experience that fame success with me and VJ. See the Hollywood Zane stars. They're lucky, yeah. That's why they're gonna beg after the movie project's over with. Because they were saved and my comic blows out of the water. They don't look up behind Hollywood. Sarah. Yeah. 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 So the actors will be blown away by your company. Yeah, they'll be blown away by my company, man. Yeah, my Gran Turismo's do a lot. My like $400 million, $350 jet like Incredibles. They see my nice office. I take them out to dinner after they sign their master contracts. And they part up with me. We just manager in their house. They're like, holy shit, Ivan's company's talking about. This is Bird in Hollywood. Yeah, it's Bird in Hollywood. Yeah. Yeah. And that's why Oscar Isaac and Driver Daisy really are really gonna beg, job begging for work, man. When they beg them, they're not joking around. They're being very sincere. They're being desperate, yeah. They'll even tell John, like, I know you think I'm joking around. I'm not playing the games, man. Like, can you please give the bosses a good word for us, man? Please, man. It's not fair, John. I need your fucking help, man. I need your help. We need your help. Like our careers are all the side tension. I would these movies in an event. You're a part of that. It's not fair, John. I want to be in the movie so bad. Yeah, guys don't worry, but I will. He doesn't give words. I'm like, he's selfish. It's actually funny, yeah. I'm not giving you word. If I asked you for word, you wouldn't give me either. I'm not giving you word, yeah. John Megan knows if he asked those guys for word, they wouldn't give him word either. That's why he's not giving word. Because he knows they wouldn't give word either. They're all selfish now. All they care about is their own careers. It's actually funny, yeah. Yeah. Like during the 4 years of Xanus, none of the Xanus stars even give me VJ or the team word about these actors. They keep their lips sealed. They're selfish. Yeah, I don't want these guys to be lucky like me, man. I'm selfish. Yeah, they're selfish, obviously. Yeah. So, Sarah? That's why they're gonna beg him. That's how he goes out of water. Yeah. Because John Medigan knows for the greatest game, I can easily pay him his 11, his 10.5, 10.8, 11 million. I can easily give him like 11.5 million of the royalties for the movie. And like 2 million for the game, 2.1 million for the game. He signed like a 25, 26 million deal. He doesn't make that in Hollywood for the Great Escape. He knows I can pay him more. The Zayn stars know I can pay them more, give them better perks. That's why they'd rather work for me. Yeah, Ivan can easily pay me more. That's why their agents are going to tell the Zayn stars, yeah, beg your ass off for Ivan if we need to resign you. They're going to tell the actors that. It's actually funny, yeah. It's not going to work on you guys. You're not good for the Grace of Keanu Reeves. I keep saying that, you know. You're not good for the Grace of Keanu Reeves. You guys have to be selfish. I'm sorry. Like, it's not fair. Like, you sign us to that massive contract for Zanes. We experience that glory with you. And after that, we go back to Hollywood. You ditch us like that. And now you're going to experience that same thing for the Grace of Keanu Reeves or Tom Cruise. It's not fair. I'm like, guys, I launched your careers. You're welcome. Ivan, we don't want to go back to Hollywood. Hollywood's not your company, but I want to work for you. Yeah. Like Yvonne Josie and John Boyega, as you want to will tell me, Ivan, we want a career for Skystars. We don't want to work in Hollywood, Ivan. Just fucking resign us, Ivan. I'm like, no, guys. You can't be selfish, man. You guys are actually pissing me off. You're being selfish people, man. You have to think about the other Hollywood actors. Because they don't care about the Hollywood actors. Ivan, we don't give a shit about the Hollywood actors. Just fucking resign us. I'm like, no, guys. I'm not going to resign you, man. Stop being greedy and selfish. You're not good for the Great Escape, Sarah. Well, John Boyega is actually good for the Great Escape too, obviously, but I'm not going to resign him. Otherwise, he's going to piss off a lot of agents and actors in Hollywood, Sarah. Yeah. And I told her else that about it. I'm like, no, John, stop being greedy. I told her else that about it. I'm like, no, John, stop being greedy, man. You get 8.5 to 10, that's good enough for you. Stop being greedy. Yeah. So they will be excited for the movie. Oh, yeah. They get the call from their agent. Yeah, you're casted for the role. In the Hollywood Xanus Stars second year, Scorsese will be flying you guys in early second year to sign your contracts, and the actors are excited. They fly on my Incredibles private jet to Vancouver, and they sign their contracts. And me, VJ Peter, get a Molitor, we take the Hollywood Xanus Stars out to dinner. And then after that, we do a party at my, I don't know, a 6-hour party at my, me and VJ's $900 million, like, Incredibles Batman house. With a tunnel and everything in the garage, a fucking high-end house, man. Me and VJ are gonna want a $900 million house. Because I'm probably gonna make my 19 billion, 17, 18, 19 billion off the book. So I build like an 800, 850, 900 million house, man. If I make 17 billion, I'll put like 800 million towards my house, a bit less, obviously. But if I make 19, I put 900. Yeah. That's why me and VJ are gonna own a beautiful house. Yeah. Well, once it's built, VJ's like, oh my god, this is my dream. You guys are gonna see the reaction video in my. You're gonna see the reaction video in my documentary, or my 2-part documentary, Flying Scorsese with George, and the reaction video of the stool being built in me and VJ's house. I don't know, 900, 800 in their house. He's like, oh my god, this is unheard. This is my dream. This is like Incredibles. I know. We have a beautiful house. I know, like Incredibles, man. Something high tech. Yeah, that's why she cries with me, because she wants to do a lot of stuff with me, right? She's a crazy woman now. Yeah. Some Sarah. Yeah. Will you do your go-through series today? Thursday. I'll do it Thursday. Yeah. I'll probably be done going over my whole volume 3 maybe by the end of. I only have 2 chapters left. End of the year, maybe I'll be done, right? Maybe November, December, I finish going over volume 3. But I have to save my money. I gotta get it proofread, obviously. Will you get your book developmentally added? No. Developmental editing, I have to save like 3,500, 4,000 for that. Developmental editing costs a lot of money. At the same time, my book doesn't need any polishing up. The only thing that needs maybe a fixing is maybe some of my stiff dialogue, but the story doesn't really need any fixing. I don't want anyone touching my story. I'm just gonna have my book proofread. Just do basic editing, grammar, spelling, punctuations, typos, that stuff. Don't touch my story. Because proofreading is much cheaper, obviously. It only cost me maybe $2,000, 18, 17, 1600 to proofread my book. It's cheaper. Whereas developmental editing costs a lot of money because it's more work for the editor. They're fixing up your story, which my story doesn't need fixing up. Hence why I don't want anyone touching my story, obviously. So I'm saying, doesn't need any fixing. Yeah. So what's your advice for the self-publishing authors, people who self-publish your book? Should we get developmental editing? It just depends on how good your book is. If your book is pretty good, I recommend you don't have a developmental editor edit your manuscript. If your book needs a little bit of work, then it doesn't hurt to have a developmental editor help you out. I'm just saying, if you have a developmental editor working on your book, the book is not really 100% your DNA. You had some help, someone helped you with your manuscript, obviously. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying it's more expensive, and the book will not be 100% your DNA. But if your book needs work, it doesn't hurt to have a developmental editor work on your manuscript, obviously. It's just up to you. That's my advice, obviously. With my book, I'm just getting it proofread. I'm not gonna hire a developmental editor. Obviously, my book doesn't need any help. My book is already good. It's a masterpiece. Yeah. Yeah, right. And self-publishing costs quite a bit of money. It only costs you maybe 3,000, 4,000 at most, maybe, right? $3,000. You can easily save $3,000. You can save $1,500, and you can use $1,500 of your credit card to get your book proof. It's worth it. Like, even though it costs a little bit of money, a few $1,000s, it's worth it. Like, once you get that over with, you can release it online, and you get most of the money goes to you. Whereas traditional publishing, you don't have to pay for anything, obviously, but they take like all your money and they give you the peanuts, man. So it's up to you, man, what path you want to take, right? I told you, if you want to be a famous author, then traditional publishing is a better path for you. If you want to be just richer, but more simple, then self-publishing is a better option for you. But self-publishing, the book is yours. You control it. You control the rights of your book, and the majority of the money goes to you. You take majority of the money. Traditional publishing, you get the peanuts. They give you like 5%, 4% of the royalties, man. A fucking greedy pig. 6% of the royalties. Yeah. Ivan, what do you think should be the reader's goal? The aspiring fantasy author's goal for how many copies they sell? Aim for 500 copies sold for your first book. If you can sell 500 copies, yes, it's not a huge hit, but you can make some pretty good money, a few $1,000 writing your book. That's not bad for a first-time debut nobody author, right? Fantasy author. Yeah. You sell your print for $25, you sell 500. That's 12,500. 12,500 after taxes is like 7,300. And then Amazon takes their like 30% cut. You made a good maybe $5,000 for yourself. $5,000 is a pretty good chunk of change for a first-time author. And then your next book, you aim to sell maybe 1,200 copies, and now you make like your $12,000, $13,000. And that's how you build your fan base. And then once you hit like the 3,000, 2,500, 3,000 mark, that's around the range where you can write full time. So you sell your book for $25, you sell 3,000 copies. That's $75,000. After taxes, I don't know what was $70,000 after taxes. $75,000 after taxes is about what, 50,000 around there? My math is right. Around there, you made like maybe your 42,000, and now you can write full time. And 3,000 copies is doable. You just gotta really market your book, man. There's ways to market your book. Fantasy, Reddit. Yeah, that's how you build. And once you make your 40K, you can now write full time. $40,000 is enough for you to pay your apartment rent and write full time, or you can work part time your other job, and you have more time to write your book. You got to make at least your 50,000+ a year, 50K a year as a full time to write full time, obviously, and that's how you build your families, right? Ivan, thank you for the advice. Yeah, you're welcome. Ivan, it's easy for you to say that, man. Like, we don't have the keys like you. We're not special like you. I know. Don't hate me, man. I'm giving you advice, right? Yeah. Try to aim to sell 500 copies for your first novel. That's a good goal. You make a good maybe $4 or $5,000 off that. That's not bad money. It's not like you can't write full time, but $5,000 to an average person is a lot of money, man. That's a good chunk of change if you made on the side, writing your first book, right? And you build your fan base. Yeah, and that's how you build your fan base. That's how you build your fan base, obviously. Yeah. Yeah. So if you'll be curious how much money you make off your book, yes, you will. Ivan, sweetie, how much money did you make off your? How much copies did you sell off your Xanus book, Ivan? Yeah, VJ, I sold 700 million copies. You sold 700 million copies? Yeah, VJ, I beat out J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter. She's like, holy shit. She's like, how much money did you make, by the way? You know, I said, she's giving that evil look. Did you make like more than 10, more than 15? I'm like, yes, I did. How much did you make, Ivan? I made 19 billion. You made $19 billion off your book, Ivan? I'm like, yeah. She's like, holy shit, that's a lot of money, Ivan. We could do 100 things with that money. She's including herself in the conversation because she's evil. I'm saying, are you going to share that money with me? I'm like, yes, I will, VJ. Relax, man. You fucking evil woman. Yeah. So give me that evil, dirty stare. Are you going to share that with me, Ivan? I'm like, yeah, I will. Relax, man. Are you going to share your love money with you, VJ? Ivan, I will. Yes. You have to share your money with you, VJ. That's how it works, man. She has like, I don't know, like $1.5 million in the bank. She's poor compared to me. It's actually funny. Yeah. Because once I get VJ out of Hollywood, she no longer has access to her Victorious royalties and her eye candy royalties. All the money she makes in Hollywood, she has no access to that anymore because I got her out of Hollywood. Because I made the $19 billion off the book, she's now sharing the billions with me for the book, obviously. The Zane's book. The money I made off the Zane's book, right? And now I can start my own film studio with Barron Holland. I can fund Zane's for $2.6 billion. An $866 million budget per volume, and I can get John Boyega, Yvonne Joe, J.G. Mohansu, Peter Jackson, all those guys out of the Hollywood system. I can pay them more than what they make in Hollywood. I told you, like, even though you guys are gonna have a blast with me during this movie, and you're gonna experience that will by buzz and fade with me for the movie, man, and you make a lot of money. After the movie, you can bail you want. You're gonna go back to home with that money. You deserve. I'm not gonna resign you. Yeah. Ivan, VJ, please, 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 Ivan, please, VJ, please, 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 don't say, yeah, like, guys, man, you can value why you're not good for the grades of Keanu Reeves. I'm not gonna have you do it, man, no way. I'm sorry. Yeah. They're begging hard, yeah, some of them might even cry. John Boyega, Yvonne Joji, most you might cry. Like, Ivan, like, I'm not, like, when they beg, they're not playing around. I know you think we're playing games, we're not playing around. Just fucking resign us, man. I don't want to go back to Hollywood, Ivan. Please, man. Hollywood's not your company, I know. Man, your company is so fucking high tech. It's like Incredibles, man. I had a blast. Trying with you wherever I go, people take reels and pictures of me, man. I felt on top of the world. I had a blast, man. It was the best. It was the highlight of my career, yeah. They're all going to say, yeah, my best... my best memory of my acting career was being in Ivan and VJ's movie. Because I paid them more money than what they made in Hollywood. I gave them better perks. They never experienced that kind of fame before, the Hollywood actors. The international fame, right? I told you, once I signed the Xanus stars, John Boyega, Idris Elba, Andy Serkis, when they go back to London, because I have the keys and the world saw my website, the announcement of the casting announcement, right? And they sign their contracts are revealed on my website and everything. Wherever they go, fans are going to take reels and pictures of them, and it's trending on X because they're now a part of the Xanus movie project. And a lot of fans are going to come up to Idris Elba and Andy Serkis and John Boyega, wherever they are downtown, to interview them. That's crazy. So you have paparazzi crazy fame, but it's a random person with a phone. It's behind the scene fame. And it's finally going to hit John Boyega, and it's trending. Some of it's trending on X. And they feel on top of the world. It's finally going to hit John Boyega, Jimonsu, and Andy Serkis' mind. Holy shit, man. This fame is crazy, man. It's like a adrenaline rush. Yeah, they feel on top of the world. It's a good feeling, man. And all the hot actors are like shit. Because they're the main event, trying on X with me and VJ. And the hot actors are side tension. Yeah, because me and VJ are king and queen now. I'm saying, huh? Yeah. Yeah. That's why they're gonna beg, man. Because they were saved and they experienced that glory that international glory and fame and buzz for Xanus. Air attendant Devils and everything. They went on the world tour with me. They had a blast during the world tour. All the crazy fans, the parties. They had a blast, man. And they got paid a lot of money for the world tour. As the world tour deal is a huge deal. It's like an 800,000, 1 million deal, man. And that's why the Hollywood actors are blowing up my company. Yeah, I just like blows out of the water. For Comic Con, we make like our 75, 200K. And I made like my 1.3 million in speaking, yeah. John Boyega, Vaughn, George Umonsu, Carl Urban, Edges all are gonna make their 1.3 million, 900 grand, whatever it is in speaking, man. It's a lot of money. And that excludes their already rich contract. I'm already paying them, right? Yeah. My company blows out of the water. They're gonna make like their $1 million in speaking, man. That's a lot of money for the Hollywood actors. Yeah. Hence why their agent's gonna tell them, yeah, because they're not stupid, they know it's a big deal. Yeah, Ivan, if John Boyega and Yvonne Joji and Idris Elba and Jimon Zugo speaking, we want our cut of that, dude. Yeah, you guys will get your cut. I'm gonna tell how it actors look, man. Like, even though you made your $1.3 million in speaking, you gotta give like your 10-50% to your agent guys. And they might be a bit pissed off. Look, I'm sorry, man. If you're pissed off, guys, that's how it works. You're represented by agents and managers. You have to pay your team, right? Your manager and agents, you gotta pay them, guys. And they get the 10%. And the Hollywood actors might be a bit pissed off about that, but you gotta pay your 10%, guys. The agents, that's how it works, right? So once the world tour's over, then you got like, I don't know, your 80 checks worth like $1 million. When you go to the bank, you have to what? You have to calculate it and you have to give 10% of that money to your agents. Because the agents are gonna want the 10% cut of the actors' earnings, speaking earnings. Because they're greedy pigs. And they know the speaking deal for my company is a huge deal. Because my tour is a world tour. It's all over the world, man. It's crazy, yeah. It's a world tour. So sorry. That's why Peter Jackson wants to know your channel. I have more than that. I'm like, no, Peter. You get an equal amount of the actors. Stop being greedy, man. I'm bigger than them, man. I'm like, Peter, I'm not paying more money for the world tour, man. Stop being greedy, man. You're making way more than everyone else for this movie. I'm not paying more for the world tour. Stop being greedy. Peter wants his 2.53 million in speaking. Ivan, you're greedy too, man. Like, you think you're making like your $12 million and you're giving us the peanuts. I'm like, I'm not giving you the peanuts. I'm giving you like 8% of our money, Peter. You're gonna make like your $1 million in speaking, man. I'm not greedy, man. I'm generous. If you think I'm gonna be stupid, greedy and stupid, and have you dupe me, and give like $3 million of my money to you, you're crazy, man. I'm already paying you. I don't know, your $1.3 billion deal. I'm not paying you more for the world tour. You get an equal amount of the actors, Peter. You don't make this now. You make like your 75K, 200K for Comic-Con. Yeah, Ivan, it's a deal. Whatever, man. Yeah, you might be pissed off, Peter. I'm like, Peter, you're pissed off. Yeah, Ivan, man, I deserve it more than this, man. I'm bigger than these actors. I'm like, Peter, you're not getting more money, man. Stop being greedy. So, Sarah, I'm already paying you way more than everyone else for the movie project. These Hollywood actors' contracts is pocket change compared to your contract, Peter. I'm not paying you more for the world tour. You get an equal amount of the actors. Stop being greedy. He's like, oh, fine, whatever, Ivan. Yeah, he might be pissed off. Yeah, he's a greedy pig, Peter. He wants more money. Ivan, can I get more than that? I'm like, no, Peter, stop being greedy. Greedy pig, yeah. So Peter's not stupid. He knows the world tour deal is a huge deal. Yeah, he knows. It's a huge deal. That's why he wants more money. He wants like his 2.53 million speaking, Peter. He's greedy. He's a greedy pig. No, Ivan, seriously, man, can I get a bit more of that, Ivan? I'm like, no, Peter, I'm not paying you more, man. Stop being greedy, man. You're not. You get an equal amount with the actors, the Hollywood actors for saying, stop being greedy, Peter. You know what I'm saying? You're being a greedy pig. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think will be the best experience for the actors during the 5 years? Ooh. Probably the world tour. The world tour will be very fun. Because we're traveling around the world and we're speaking at venues of thousands of people. And chances are they're going to do group interviews too. One-on-one group interviews like they do in Hollywood. they're gonna do one-on-one group interviews in Hollywood. That stuff I'll film. So when you have the person interview the actors, when it's just me and the main actors, and they interview some like 3 actors, Peter and Guillermo del Toro, that stuff I can film, which you're most likely gonna do. But the main event thing, I'm not filming that. That's behind the scenes. You guys get what you deserve. I'm not filming that, and you're missing out. And if you're pissed off that you're missing out, it's your fault. You wanted to keep me behind the scenes. It's your fault, man. I set the whole thing up. You made a choice, right? It's not my fault. It's your fault. Yeah. Yeah. Wouldn't production be the most fun? Production will be pretty fun, but production is work, man. Like working, even though filming the movie will be fun, obviously, like filming Xanus will be dirty work, man. We're filming 7 days a week for like 10, 11, 12 hours a day. It's dirty work. For like, I don't know, imagine filming 7 days a week for like, I don't know, 10 months straight. 11 months, that's dirty work. But filming production will be fun, but obviously the world tour will be more fun than production, right? Because production's work. Everyone's working, right? Even though we're going to have a blast filming the movie, it's work. Like we're working like 10, 11, 12 hours every day, 7 days a week. It's dirty work, right? Whereas a world tour, it's work too, but it's just speaking. But the actors will be maybe perhaps a little bit tired. After we speak at maybe 40 places, they're a bit worn out. But they work hard because they're getting paid a lot of money for it, right? I told you how much money the actors are going to be making for the world tour. Like they're 800 grand, $1 million in speaking if I speak at 80 places. Chances are I will speak at a good maybe 80 places. The actors pulling their 800 grand, 750K, $1 million, $1 million too in speaking. That's a lot of money for the Hollywood actors. And they're going to work harder, and they're going to give the fans a good experience when they speak. Yeah. I'm going to tell the actors, guys, I'm paying you a lot of money for the world tour. Make sure you give the paying audience a good experience. Yeah, we will. They give the audience a good experience because they're getting paid for it, right? The fans paid to see us speak, and you need to give them a good experience. And the actors put on a show. They crack jokes. You're going to see John Boyega, Von Jose, G1, they all crack jokes, man. And they're giving the fans a good experience because they're getting paid for it. They're getting paid a lot of money for it, man. Yeah. Samsara? Yeah. Getting paid their 8 grand or 10 grand or 20 grand or 15 grand or 17 grand. That's a lot of money for speaking for an hour and a half. I'm going to tell the organizers I'm not speaking for more than an hour and a half. Otherwise, you're going to wear us out. Don't interview us for any more than an hour and a half. And you have to ask them, are you guys doing group interviews too, like Hollywood one-on-one interviews? Yeah, if we want to interview Peter and Mel one-on-one. We want to do a one-on-one interview with Peter and Mel and all stuff. Peter and Guillermo del Toro, I mean. Or Mel Gibson, right? And yeah, okay, if you guys are doing the one-on-one group roundtable stuff, I can film that. But the main event, I'm not filming that. That's behind the scenes. Yeah. That's what we're looking at, a sick documentary. There's so many interesting stuff to watch. Yeah. I'm like, Peter, for the one-on-one interview like you did with Charlie for Lord of the Rings, when they interview you and Guillermo del Toro, the interviews are going to grill you guys. You got to give good questions, good answers, right? Here's Ivan. Don't worry about it. I know how it works, man. I did many interviews in Hollywood. Now, I know what, Peter, this is an Ivan VJ movie. They're really going to grill you. They know I wrote a masterpiece. They're going to grill you with all these questions. And that's why Peter will kind of have that pressure. Peter and Guillermo del Toro will kind of have that pressure. Like, they hope they don't fuck up my movie. My movie will make money, but critically, they don't want to fuck it up, right? That's why Peter will be working really hard taking his notes. Because he doesn't want to fuck up my masterpiece. But people tell me, all right, if you follow your book, you're looking at a masterpiece. Yeah, Peter, yeah, you're looking at a masterpiece. Yeah, you'll get a masterpiece. Just follow the book, you'll get a masterpiece. And we add stuff to make it more interesting when we write the script. Me and Peter, Guillermo del Toro, right? Yeah. Yeah. after this, I'm gonna get my beer and smells and enjoy the show with you guys. I'll do a double header today. Yeah. Because you guys would rather see me do a double header than do the go through series. Even though the videos are pretty interesting, it's more boring because it's just me going over the book. So I'll just do a double header today in the afternoon, like I did yesterday, right? So Ivan, the Hollywood actors agents are really going to tell the actors to beg Ivan Regia for word to resign them. Yes, they will. Yeah, guys, even though you're not going to be in the next movie, man, be desperate and beg your fucking ass up to be in Ivan Regia's next movie. Like, Ivan's going to be blown out of the water. He can easily pay you guys more money, give you better perks, and you get worldwide fame. It blows out of the water. This is your ticket out of the Hollywood system. They know that, the agent. That's why they're going to tell the actors to beg. And once the red carpet event and the party is over at the hotel, that's when they're all begging hard, man. Because they know the journey is now officially over. Even when production ends, they're like, oh, it's done. Okay, that's a wrap. Production's over. Oh, it's done, Ivan? I'm like, yeah, it's done, guys. Oh, man, they know the journey's pretty much over. But it's not over yet. You have the world tour, right? If I go world touring. Not over yet. But once the hotel party happens, that's when the journey's officially over. And the actors are going to know they're going to go back to Hollywood. That's why they're going to beg, obviously. Yeah. Because guaranteed during the world tour, if I go world touring, when they interview the actors, the interviewers are going to ask the Hollywood actors, A stars, what's next for you guys? And they're all going to say, yeah, I'm doing this movie in Hollywood. Hollywood through them. Because during the world tour, that's when the Hollywood actors' agents are going to get thrown a lot of Hollywood offers. Some lucrative offers, too. John Boyega might get maybe an $8 million deal for a movie. Because he can sell his movies better now. He's world famous. Edge's album might get his $12, $13 million offers in Hollywood now. $10 million offers. Yvonne Juja might get his $2.5, $3 million offers in Hollywood now. I launched their careers. But they know, yeah, even though we're going to be pretty successful or very successful in Hollywood, our movies are a side tangent. Ivan's doing that Grace Gate with Keanu Reeves or Spider-Man Miles Morales. Yeah. And the interviews tell the actors, and the actors ask the actors are like, yeah, we're going to be doing a movie in Hollywood. Ivan Vijay, what's next for you? And Vijay's like, yeah, we're thinking of doing a secret agent movie, or we might go into the comic book world. Yeah. And then when you guys watch the interview, holy shit, are Ivan and Vijay hinting they might do Spider-Man Miles Morales? Maybe. It's most likely the greatest hit with Keanu Reeves having Matt Damon. I might do Spider-Man Miles Morales. Yeah. But it's high on lefty. It's most likely the greatest hit with Keanu Reeves. After Xanus, right? Yeah, and all the actors like, shit, yeah, it's not fair, man. Even though Hollywood threw us offers, some lucrative offers, and we're making more money on Hollywood, like, when we go back to Hollywood, we're going to be left behind. And our movies are a side tension. Ivan's greatest hit with Keanu Reeves is the main event. Yes, it is. That's why they're going to beg, obviously. Because they know their careers are a side tension when they go back to Hollywood. But they can now sell their movies a bit better now because they're world famous. Everyone knows they're world famous. Everyone knows them from Xanus. They can now sell their movies better now. Yeah. I'm sorry. As I launched their careers. But even though they know I launched their careers, they still rather work for me than Hollywood. I can pay them more, man. Yeah. John Boyega knows I can easily pay him more. Yeah. John Boyega will be lucky to get maybe a $7, $8 million contract after Xanus. He might get thrown maybe $5, $6, $7 million offers, which is a lucrative contract, but he knows I can easily pay him more for the greatest game. I can pay him his 11, 10.8. I can easily give him like 11.5 million royalties. Pay him 2.1 for the game, and yeah, he signed like a $26 million deal for the great escape. John Boyega. That's why he's gonna beg too, because he knows I can easily pay him more for my movies than what he makes in Hollywood, right? Yeah. Samsara. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, how top notch is your company, SkySource, UVG SkySource company? It's like Incredibles. Oh no, we have a 900. A 900 minute house is what you saw in Incredibles 1, right? That's a completely pimped out house. And I have a beautiful studio lot garage office. I have my beautiful jet, like Incredibles. I'm gonna renovate like Incredibles with a cup holder goes down and up. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And the fame is much crazier. It's international fame. The payment system, when you get paid, you have a GPS talking. Like, you have received $100,000. Yeah, it's top notch, my company. Yeah. It was once the Hollywood actors experienced my my high end company, and they go back to Hollywood. Hollywood feels it's a letdown. They go back to Hollywood. Hollywood feels like shit compared to SkySource. Because Ivan made a 2.6 million budget movie. They're gonna be blown away by the technology of my movie, The Hollywood Actors. Holy shit, man! Like Ivan's coming close out wire. Like, his technology resilience is unheard of. This is blowing. Like, this, like, Hollywood doesn't have. Even though Hollywood has high end technology, it's not like SkySource. Because I'm putting out bigger budget movies, much bigger budget movies. And so when they go back to Hollywood, it's a letdown. Hollywood actors. Now, even though Hollywood is a pretty high tech, it's not SkySource. SkySource blows out of the water. Yeah, it's a letdown when they go back to Hollywood. See what I'm saying? Give me a sec, guys. I have to use the bathroom. Back in a sec. Just give me don't wait that long. guys, I'm back. I had to use the bathroom. Yeah. So Ivan, John Boyega doesn't have to worry about you pushing his character to the side. No, as Tacitonians is a supporting lead of the story when you read it. The first two volumes. But volume 3, everyone kind of has their equal amount of scenes. John Boyega will be fighting the demon wolf, Bull the Pit Watcher in the movie, in the war. Towards the end of the war, Jimon 2 will fight Morale the General, and I fight Eretan for Fool. The main focus will mainly be on me and Eretan, but you also have John Boyega fighting Bull the Pit Watcher, so I'm going to give him his time to shine in the movie. And Jimon 2 fights Morale the General. Yeah, so I'm going to tell Jimon 2, Yvonne, Jose, John Boyega, you guys are going to be the star of my movie, the stars of my movie. All the other actors are going to be the stars of my movie, but I'm going to give them their time to shine. Now, it doesn't have to worry about me pushing his character aside like it did in Last Jedi, right? Yeah. Yeah. Because Disney, they did not plan the sequel trilogy. Hence why it was a convoluted mess, obviously. They didn't plan it out. J.J. Abrams didn't have a plan for the sequel. They just gave Rian Johnson the keys to the kingdom and let him do his own thing. And that's why the sequels were a bit of a mess, obviously. They didn't plan it out. I'm not taking anything away from Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson's a very talented filmmaker, but he wasn't obviously good for Star Wars, right? He just wasn't the right director for Star Wars, but he is an amazing director. As I heard, what's that movie called again? You have the movie he directed, right, with Daniel Craig. Yeah, I heard those movies were really good. But Rian Johnson just wasn't good for Star Wars. No offense, right? He wasn't the right choice for Star Wars, obviously. Yeah. The sequels were not planned out. Hence why it was a bit of a convoluted mess, obviously. Which reminds me, I'm going to plan everything out with Vijay before I even start work. Where we read my book and me and Vijay, we take notes. I'm going to take notes for ideas I have to add in the story. Some stuff I have to change. I'm also going to print all the pictures of the demonic characters. That way, when we do the console art meeting and all stuff with Peter and Guillermo Toro, Vijay and all them, and George Lucas, I show John Hannah Ali what I'm thinking of for the demonic beings. I show them that picture of Eretat, that clip of Eretat. I screenshot it, I take a picture of it, and I print it out. I show them they'll be Annabelle, Pennywise the clown, and they have an idea. Okay, Ivan, you want them to be demons like this? Yes. Well, I want them 2-3 times scarier than this. You want them as scary as possible, Ivan? Yes, John Hound Ali. Make them as scary as possible. The demonic beings, I want them to be devils. Well, I tell a powerful story. And I'm doing it. That's why the Xangan stars are lucky. They're gonna be part of that Hervey journey, fighting all those devils, man. Yeah. They're lucky, the Xangan stars. Yeah. The Hollywood Xangan stars are lucky. Yeah. They're lucky. Yeah. Yeah, that's why the gatekeepers want to control my brand. Because they know my Xanus Brand's huge. Yeah. Yeah. Because $19 billion to the gatekeepers is pocket change, but they're thinking of the bigger picture. Ivan O'Mara and Victoria Justice with $19 billion in their bank with the keys to the kingdom is a lot of power. They can start many businesses with that money. Yeah, they can start that film studio, and they can easily sign with Amazon. They make their billions off that. Yeah, and Isaias is like is like what, a 100+ billion dollar brand, a 100 maybe $30 billion brand. Man, it's huge. Yeah, $130 billion brand, $140 billion brand. It's huge. If I make 90 off the book, it's even bigger than 100. It's like 120 billion dollar brand. It's a huge brand. That's why they want to control it. They know it's like a 100+ billion dollar brand, man. It's a huge brand. They want to control that. Yeah, even though they make their choices because they're greedy pigs. Yeah. But zero, man, the money on the books for me is not for you. You won't let me touch your trillions. These billions, I don't know, the 19 billion off my Zane's books for me vision is not for you. You're just a greedy pig, man. You're a greedy psychopath, yeah. You make all that money, you also want to take my billions off my book and give me the peanuts. So you're selfish, obviously. Yeah, Ivan's not touching a dime of my money, but when he writes his book, we deserve to take his money. No, you don't. You didn't write the book, and you're not God. You didn't create this book. You don't deserve to control my money. You didn't create the universe. Me and we just rifle here is not you, and you know it. You're just blinded and consumed by your envy. Yeah. Some Sarah. Superman is coming out this Friday, guys, July 11th. Is it Thursday? It's either Thursday or Friday. It's coming out, guys. July 11th, Superman. James Gunn's Superman's coming out this Friday, guys. I recommend all you guys, you take your families and you watch that movie. This is the launch of the new DC universe. James Gunn's Superman is coming out this Friday, guys. You're welcome, Warner Brothers. I'm rolling your parents, and I am. You know. Ivan, what's your prediction for Superman? I told you, 800 million to 1.2 billion. That's my prediction for the box office for Superman. But I believe Superman has to do, I think, maybe 850 million to break even, right? I heard the movie was made for $200 million, but they spent maybe 200 million in marketing. So the movie has to do, yeah, like 800 million just to break even. That's why Warner Bros. Is obviously looking for that $1 billion hit, $950 billion hit. 900 million will be profitable. $1 billion profitable. So you're looking for the Warner Bros. Obviously expects Superman to make $1 billion. That's why they're marketing the hell out of it. But if the movie's not good, it will not hit 800. I don't think it will hit $800 million. It might do maybe $600 million. The movie loses money. Yeah, or break even, whatever it is. Yeah, I heard it costs $200 million to make Superman, and I heard they spent maybe $200 million in marketing. So that's $400 million, which means the movie has to do $800 million to break even. So if Superman does maybe 850, it's a sleeper hit. It made a little bit of profit. And Warner Bros., as long as the movie makes a little bit of profit, Warner Bros. Will be happy, obviously. They made a little bit of money off it. Wasn't a huge hit, but it made a little bit of money. But I think Superman will do 800 million to 1.2 billion. And if it does hit like if it does hit more than 1.2, I will not be surprised. It's a Superman movie. So remember, if Superman does more than 1.2 billion in the box office, which I highly doubt it, remember that Ivan O'Mara said he will not be surprised. I don't think it will. I think it's more of that 800 to 1.2 billion range. But if it makes more in the box office, I would not be surprised. It's a Superman movie, and I promoted my channel, right? I promoted Superman on my channel. The whole world tuned into my channel, yeah. And you're welcome, Wonderfuls. Yeah, you're welcome, guys. Yeah, Ivan, you're very generous. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome, guys. So nice, Sam. Yeah. That's free marketing from Ivan O'Mara. And you're not paying me for this, right? I'm giving you free advertisement for your Superman movie, Wonderfuls. You're welcome, yeah. That's how powerful I am. I have the keys of whole world tuning into my YouTube channel, yeah. Yeah. Will John Boyega speak like he does in Star Wars for Xanus? No, he's speaking Old English style speech. Obviously. So the way John Boyega really speaks in real life with his English accent, it'll sound more like that in my movie, John Boyega. Obviously, but a bit different, obviously. Yeah. I won't be speaking the way I speak now. I'll be speaking in Old English style speech. The way Elijah Wood spoke in Lord of the Rings. Think of the way the actors spoke in Lord of the Rings. Think something like that for Zanes. They speak Old English style speech. That's why you have to hire a dialect coach to train all of us to speak Old English style speech. Like the actors in Lord of the Rings, right? Because when you read my book, they speak Old English style speech. I mix it with a little bit of modern English, obviously, as you guys read, but most of it is Old English style speech when you read my book, right? Job, what is this madness, and to whom are these strangers carrying weapons? Like, people that nowadays in the modern days don't talk like that. That's Old English style speech. It's a fantasy world, right? You have to have them speaking Old English style speech. Yeah. 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 You're gonna see John Boyega and Jibansu, our cousin. We seek Prince Takis, and he happens to found passage here. And Annie Serkis is like, "Who are you?" You know, and yeah, sick movie, man. Yeah. And you'll do what? Forge us? I know it's funny. Yeah, you're gonna see John Boyega. He's very sarcastic as Sensitonius in the movie. Yeah, sick movie. Yeah. Yeah. So you're gonna see John Boyega and Jibansu. They wear like beautiful, like robes and everything. Yeah, when they're in Xanus, they wear like these beautiful robes because they're rich. They're part of the royal family. I wear beautiful robes because we're all part of the royal family. You're gonna see John Boyega. He's royalty. He's part of the royal family. Jibansu, he's part of the royal family. Yeah, me, I'm part of the royal family. Angie Bassett, the queen of Xanus. Yeah, sick movie. VJ is a spoiled daughter of Eli. Think something like Eowyn and Arwen for VJ. She wears clothes like that, and she's a daughter of Eli, the leader of Sapphires. Yeah, sick movie. Yeah. Please, Ivan, this is Lord of the Rings. I know, please, Lord of the Rings. Masterpiece. Yeah. So, Ivan, what will Xanus look like in your movie? Well, think something like Rivendell. You know how Rivendell has that holy feel? It's very beautiful. It has that holy feel. Yeah, I want Xanus John Han Ali to have that holy feel like Rivendell. Don't copy Rivendell, but make it original. But I wanted to have that holy feel, the North and Xanus. Where Saphis is a beautiful city, but it's something like Minas Tirith. It's a stone city, and Cyrus is something like a Shire. But don't copy it, guys. Make it original, but you have some similarities, obviously. Yeah, Cyrus is a farmland, and Saphis is the land of blacksmiths. And Xanus is a royal land, the royal land where the royal family lives. The Prince of Xanus, the Queen of Xanus, his cousins live, obviously. His family lives. You see what I'm saying? And the South is cursed. Yeah. Because I'm looking at a masterpiece. This is Breath of the Rings, alright. I know Breath of the Rings, a masterpiece, man. Well, I mean, seriously, man, I enjoyed the book more than Jared told us Lord of the Rings. I know Breath of the Rings. Yeah. 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 I guarantee when Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson, they read snippets of my book, they were probably shocked. Holy shit, man. Ivan's a gifted writer, man. His story is fucking entertaining, man. And I'm enjoying it more than what I read in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it's more entertaining Lord of the Rings, guys. My stepmother told me my book's #1 for a reason, right? Because it's the best fans I've written. Yeah, as you guys read, right? And my whole book is like that. What you guys are reading, the whole book is like that. And that's why it's a masterpiece, and nobody can top that story. It's too entertaining. You can't top that, man. Yeah. Well, Ivan, how do you make your chapters entertaining? Throw in a big climax in each chapter, and try your best to end it off with a cliffhanger. This is gonna happen next. This might happen next, and it keeps the reader engaged. It keeps the reader hooked. And it doesn't hurt to throw in foreshadowing hints in there. You don't have to have foreshadowing hints in there, but it doesn't hurt to throw in some hints in there. And it doesn't hurt to have your characters have conflict in each chapter. That makes the story more entertaining. Conflict with your protagonist, with your antagonist, or throw in a big climax in each of your chapters, and that keeps the reader engaged and keeps it more hooked. And I mean, some of these booktubers on YouTube disagree with you. Obviously, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but who would you rather take advice from me, who wrote a better book than all their books, or would you rather take advice from those guys who wrote amazing books, but they're not as good as my book? Their books are not as entertaining. They don't keep you as hooked as my book. So it's up to you which advice you want to take from, right? But take advice from all sides. They also have amazing advice too that helps you write a novel too. They have amazing advice too. But some of those guys might disagree with me on my advice because everyone has their own different opinions on how to write a novel, obviously. But I wrote the better book than their book, so I recommend you take the advice from me. As my stepmother told me, my book's #1. Throw in a climax in each of your chapters. It's not hard. Just try to think of something big that can happen in each of your chapters. Just think, obviously. And it doesn't hurt to throw in cliffhangers too, because I leave the end of all my chapters, I leave it off with a cliffhanger. Oh my god, what's gonna happen next? Yeah, all my chapters end with cliffhangers, except for the final chapter. The final chapter doesn't end with a cliffhanger because it's the end of the book. But all my previous chapters before that, they all end with cliffhangers. Oh my god, what's gonna happen next? Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, almost done here, guys. Yeah, but Ivan, how it's easy for you to say that. You have the gift, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you write a compelling chapter? Well, that's on you. Like, you got to keep practicing your writing. You got to watch Brand Xanus's lectures. I'll help you out. That I can't help you with. At the end of the day, like, I can give you advice, but if you're gonna ask me how do you write an entertaining novel, I told you throw in a conflict in there and a big climax in your chapters. But not even how do you write a big conflict? Well, that's on you. You have to practice your writing, man. You have to keep practicing your writing and holding your craft. And it doesn't hurt to watch Brand Xanus's lectures on YouTube. That'll help you out a lot. Trust me, watch his lectures. That will help you out a lot. Brand Xanus's lectures on YouTube. That'll help you out a lot too. And my advice is just keep writing, man. Practice your writing. Yeah, challenge yourself. Write a 5,000, 10,000 short story. Then have people review it. If you get bad reviews, you go back and you keep writing. That's how you get better. Some people might get it on their first try, their second try, their third try. Some people might take them maybe 5 tries to hone their craft in writing. It took me 1 try to hone my craft in writing, as my Islamic story was not that good compared to Xanus. It was okay, but it wasn't. My writing was not as good back then. But that's how I honed my craft. I wrote 30,000 words, which is that's like 70 pages worth of writing. And then once I started writing Xanus, I honed my craft and I got better as a storyteller, as a writer. Well, I mean writer, I mean storyteller, right? As I'm not that great of an English writer. I'm a great storyteller. There's a difference, right? Yeah. And one advice I'll give you guys: just be simple with your writing. Stop trying to Stop trying to sound smart with your English literature. Just be simple and write a good story. Focus on the story form of writing. Tell an interesting story. Stop trying to wow the reader with your English literature, man. Nobody cares about how good your English is. They care about how good your story is. You're writing a book. Your purpose as an aspiring author is to entertain the reader, not wow them with your English literature. There's nothing wrong with having your book beautifully written and your info dumps, but don't spend like 3-4 pages info dumping the reader. You're gonna bore the reader. Spend maybe a page and a half, and then get to the point with the story. Otherwise, you're gonna bore the reader. I'm telling you right now, guys, you're gonna bore the reader if you do that. Some Sarah. There's a reason why I don't do that in my book, because I know I can bore the reader if I do that. The max I spend in my book describing stuff with info dumps is maybe 3/4 of a page. In volume 3, maybe. And I get right to the point with the character. That's why my book is so entertaining. Some Sarah? Yeah. 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 When you write their unique, maybe I might write their unique. Yeah. But first, before I even write their unique, I need to get Xanus done by going over volume 3 and then get it proofread and design my cover. And once that's done, now I'll think about writing their unique. Most likely not, but I might write their unique and finish it. I'll make more money from me and BJ, right? Yeah, and I'll show you snippets of that too. I need to buy a laptop. I just hope the gates don't hack my laptop again. That's why if I write their unique, I'm gonna save it on my Hotmail every time I finish writing it, right? Not just in case they hack my laptop like last time. Yeah. So where do you have your book saved? I have my book saved on that computer, I also have it saved on my Hotmail. I also have it saved on my phone. I have my file saved on my phone too, obviously. So I have a lot of places where I have it saved. You have it saved on a USB? No. I have my file saved on my phone, on my Hotmail, and also that computer. Yeah, the best place to save your book file is your Hotmail. Yeah. Your desktop on your laptop is good too, but if your laptop crashes, you lose your file. That's why USB is good too, obviously. But USB, you can also lose that too. That's why the best place to save it is your Hotmail. That's the best place to save your book file, guys. That's my advice. USB is good too, but USB, you can lose that too, right? So your desktop on your computer, that's a good place to save your file. USB is good too, but USB, you can misplace that and lose that. Your Hotmail account, archive it on your Hotmail. That's the best place to save your file. That's where my very unique file saved and my Xanus file saved there. But once I go over volume 3, I have to resave another file, obviously, because that other file is the old file without my polishing up, right, of volume 3. So I have to resave a new file on my Hotmail once I'm done going over volume 3. Yeah. Do you think Terry will be better than Xanus? It'll either be a tie or I think Xanus will take the cake. Yeah. Because you guys read Their Unique. Their Unique was very entertaining, right? When you're, I mean, that's fucking entertaining. Yeah, you can argue it's just as entertaining as my start to Xanus. But they're two different genres. One's fantasy, one's romance. But when I read Their Unique, that was fucking entertaining. That's a great start to your story, I know. Jeez, Mom, this isn't the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Obviously. But for Their Unique, if I write that, I'm gonna plan out all my chapters. Because romance it's in the modern times too. And romance, you gotta be good at portraying emotion. That's why I'm probably gonna be the architect and the gardener for Their Unique, obviously. And I'll film myself writing it, the whole book. Me typing on my laptop. But I'm not going to film when I write on my notebook. Because that the me filming myself can distract me from my writing. I buy a few notebooks from the dollar store. I get my pen. My pencil. Yeah. I recommend, guys, if you write a book, write it on your notebook first. And then type on your laptop. You concentrate much better when you write on a notebook than when you write on a laptop. You concentrate much better. That worked for me when I wrote Xanus, right? I recommend when you write your book, go to the store, get a lot of notebooks, get a pencil. I work with a pen. You can get a pen too, but the only problem with a pen, if you make an error, you have to scratch it out with your pen. That's why a pencil's better for writing Xanus. I wrote my Xanus book on my notebook with a pencil and a pen. But the problem with pens, if you make an error and you want to change it, then you have to scratch it off with your pen. Whereas pencils, you can erase it. That's why writing with a pencil is probably your best bet, obviously, when you want to write your notebook. But you can write with a pen if you want to. I'm just saying, with a pen, if you want to change something, you have to scratch it off with your pen, right? Obviously, I'll show you all my. I already showed you guys, right? These are all my notebooks I worked on for Xanus. Shit. I wrote Xanus all on these notebooks. There's more, right? Yeah. This one too. No, not this one. Is this where I took my notes? No. Something fell down, guys. Yeah. What you see here this is where I wrote my book for Xanus. Yeah, this is not the whole book. This is like the end of volume 2 and all of volume 3. So this whole book here, I wrote, you see, I wrote Xanus. All on this. This too, front and back, I wrote all that. Yeah. This one, no, is not it, right? Oh my god, how the fuck do I get this thing out? What the hell? Yeah. I wrote Xanus on this too. Front and back. This notebook. This notebook. This notebook. This notebook. This notebook. And no, this one I didn't write on. This is my college psychology book, right? Yeah. Yeah, I wrote Xanus. All of these books. Is this the whole book? No. This is like the end of volume 2. No, this is like mid volume 2 and all of volume 3. So all this you see here, this is like what I wrote for volume mid volume 2 to like to all of volume 3. Whereas the rest of my book, I wrote it all on my computer without writing on my notebook. So volume 1 I wrote all that on the computer. Half of volume 2 I wrote that on the computer, and then the second half of volume 2 and all of volume 3 I wrote Xanus in all these notebooks. And this is what I had to rewrite when the Gates hacked my laptop. I had to rewrite pretty much all of this, man. And it took me 5 months to finish it. I was fucking stressed out. You wrote all that? Yes, I did, man. Imagine me writing all this. Like, all this, man. Like, front and back. Like, all this, man. I was fucking stressed out. And I pulled it off. Yeah. I pulled it off, man. Ivan, you pulled it off? Yeah, I finished in 5 months. 6 months around there I finished. Because I was writing every day. I had a goal. First, I started off writing. I think the first day, I wrote 20 pages for the first couple of days. And it was too stressful for me. So I toned it down to 10. And after that, I toned it down to 5. And I was writing every day. And within like 5 months, 6 months, I finished. I remember the day I finished, I bought like beer. And I celebrated. Yeah, I never made that mistake because before, when I wrote my book on my laptop, I only saved it on my desktop. I didn't save it on my Hotmail. And so when they damaged my laptop, I had to rewrite like the end of volume 2 and all of volume 3, man. I was so stressed out. I finished it. I pulled it off, man. You know, I'm never making that mistake again. Every time you write, even if you write there unique, Ivan, make sure you save your book on your Hotmail, just in case the gatekeepers are they fuck up your laptop, right? You have to be careful with that stuff. Yeah. So Ivan, your advice to aspiring fantasy authors, write on your notebook first. Yes, when you write on your notebook, guys, you focus better. Trust me. Writing on your laptop and writing on your notebook, you see a difference, man. When you write on your notebook, you actually think better. You're more concentrated when you write on your notebook. When you write on your laptop, you can write well too, but you can be a bit distracted when you write on your laptop. That's why I like writing on my notebook first. Then I type it out on my laptop. That's what I did for Xanus. For the second half of volume 2 and all volume 3, I wrote on my notebook first and I typed it on my laptop. I told you the Gates fucked up my laptop. That's why I had to rewrite rewrite it, man. I was fucking stressed out. I almost cried, man. I had that call. I took my laptop to the shop, Like, yeah, sorry, we can't fix your laptop. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, God protect me, man. Because I wrote it all in my notebook, I was able to rewrite the whole book. Had I not written on my notebook, I would have had to rewrite it without having my notebook. And I would have perhaps had a different story. I would have had a different story, right? God protect me. I wrote it on my notebook. I was able to rewrite it. And that's one good reason why you should write on your notebook, just in case your laptop crashes or something like that. If you write it on your notebook, at least you have your book is still there. You can rewrite it. That's also another good idea. A good reason why you should write on your notebook too, just in case you lose your USB or your laptop crashes. But that's why save it on your Hotmail, archive it on your Hotmail. That way you don't have to worry about your file getting lost. Your Hotmail is the best place to save your book, guys. USB is good, your desktop is good, but your desktop, your computer can crash, and your USB, you can also lose that too. Whereas your Hotmail, it's there, archived in your Hotmail. You don't have to worry about losing your file in your Hotmail. That's why your Hotmail is the best place to save your book, in my opinion. That's another advice from Ivan America, right? Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I learned my lesson, man. I saved my file on my desktop. My computer crashed. My laptop crashed. It fucked up my laptop, and I had to rewrite the whole thing, man. Because I wrote it on my notebook, I was able to rewrite the whole thing. It's the same story. I made a few maybe tiny little changes here and there when I wrote it, but it's the same story that I wrote before. My original draft is the same story as what you guys read. But I made a few little tweaks and changes, obviously. When I wrote it, obviously, we wrote it, but it's the same story. Some Sarah? Yeah. 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 So Ivan, you might write there. Yeah, I might. Once I get my book proofread, I design my cover, I might consider writing there. It's more money for me and BJ. Me and BJ, I'm gonna make me my $35 billion off the 2 books. It's more money for me and BJ, right? Yeah. And I'll film myself writing it on my laptop. But I'm not gonna film myself writing it on a notebook because I need to concentrate. Me filming myself can distract me. I'm gonna just look at my notes and I let my creativity flow and I write. My goal, the way I work is I do a goal to write 5 pages every day. That's like 1,000 words a day. I don't know, Very Unique has 15 chapters. You're probably looking at a 130,000 page book. A 380, 400 page book maybe, yeah. After 120,000 words, I'm done the book, right? Yeah. Some Sarah? Yeah. It's highly unlikely, but I'm not Very Unique. We'll see what happens. Hence why Xanus was the best movie ever made, and it'll also be the best fantasy novel ever written. I'm going to call this video the Xanus movie and more advice to aspiring fantasy authors from Ivan America. Alright guys, I'm done. I talked for 9 or 4 minutes, that's good enough. Hope you guys enjoyed this show. Stay tuned, I'll make my double header in the afternoon around maybe 4 or 5 o'clock. This is Ivan America, I'm signing off. Peace guys, hope you guys enjoyed this show. Peace out.